In this video, we're showcasing 9 massive machines that once ruled the roads. These aren't just cars, they're rolling statements of prosperity and power that defined an era. Number 1. Chevrolet Impala Custom Coupe. Ever wondered what it felt like to drive a car that could double as a mobile living room? Well, buckle up, because we're about to take a cruise down memory lane in the 1973 Chevrolet Impala Custom Coupe. Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a car that stretches an incredible 221.9 inches from bumper to bumper. That's right, folks. We're talking about a vehicle longer than some modern-day apartments. Chevy wasn't kidding when they marketed this beast as a better way to see America, and boy, did they mean it. Step inside and you'd find yourself surrounded by a sea of vinyl and wood grain. The bench seats felt more like your favorite living room couch than anything you'd expect in a car. It was like bringing your whole house with you on the road. Now, let's talk about what was under the hood. The 73 Impala came standard with a 350 cubic inch V8 engine that churned out 145 horsepower. Okay, so it wasn't exactly a speed demon by today's standards, but it had more than enough oomph to get this land yacht cruising down the highway. Number 2. Cadillac Dorado Convertible. Remember when we said the Impala was a rolling statement? Well, get ready for a car that wasn't just a statement. It was a full-blown farewell speech to an age of automotive grandeur. Enter the 1976 Cadillac Dorado Convertible, a behemoth that stretched an incredible 224 inches from bumper to bumper. This wasn't just any old land yacht. It was the last of its kind. And boy, did Cadillac know it. Cadillac made sure everyone understood the significance of this magnificent beast. They boldly marketed it as the last American convertible, and they weren't kidding. It was like they were saying, "Folks, this is it. The party's over, but we're going out with a bang." But the Dorado wasn't just about size. Oh no, it was packed with luxury features that would make even today's car buyers green with envy. Picture this. You're sitting in plush leather seats that can be adjusted 6 different ways. Too hot? No problem. Just flip on the automatic climate control and you're cruising in comfort. It was like driving your living room, if your living room could hit highway speeds. And let's talk about what was under that mile-long hood. The Dorado Convertible packed a massive 500 cubic inch V8 engine. Sure, thanks to those pesky emissions regulations, it only churned out 235 horsepower. But trust us, this baby had enough torque to tow a small house if you were so inclined. Safety wasn't forgotten either. This land yacht came standard with ventilated disc brakes, ensuring you could stop all that American steel when needed. It's like Cadillac was saying, "We know it's big, but we've got you covered." Number 3. Plymouth Grand Fury. Now, if you thought we'd covered all the big players from the 70s automotive scene, hold on to your bench seats. There's one behemoth that's been hiding in plain sight all these years, ready to meet the unsung hero of the bigger is better era. Enter the 1975 Plymouth Grand Fury, a car so massive it could make even the Cadillac feel compact. This full-size sedan stretched out to a jaw-dropping 225 inches long. But it wasn't just long, it was wide too. At 79.5 inches across, you could practically play a game of tennis on its hood. But the Grand Fury wasn't just about size. Under that massive hood, Plymouth packed a range of V8 engines, including a 440 cubic inch powerhouse that could really get this land yacht moving when you needed it to. It's like they said, "Hey, why not put a rocket in a living room?" Speaking of living rooms, step inside the Grand Fury and you'd think you'd wandered into one. Plush bench seats, wood grain trim, and enough legroom to host a small dance party. It was comfort on wheels, designed to make you feel right at home even when you were cruising down the highway. Despite its impressive specs, the Grand Fury never quite achieved the same level of fame as some of its contemporaries. It's like the quiet kid in class who could bench press more than the football team captain. Plymouth marketed it as a spacious and comfortable ride for families and individuals looking for a car that could accommodate their every need. And boy, did it deliver. Number 4. Dodge Polara. Ever wondered what people in the 60s thought cars of the future would look like? Well, the 1969 Dodge Polara might just give you a pretty good idea. This beast wasn't just big, it was a glimpse into tomorrow, wrapped in chrome and steel. Dodge called it their fuselage design, and boy, did it live up to the name. The Polara looked like it could take off and fly to the moon at any moment. With its sleek, aerodynamic styling, this car was turning heads and breaking necks before it even hit the gas pedal. But the Polara wasn't just about looks. Step inside, and you'd find yourself surrounded by luxury that would make a millionaire blush. The carpet was so plush, you'd be tempted to kick off your shoes and drive barefoot. And with 5 different body styles to choose from, there was a Polara for every taste and need. Now, let's talk about what was under that mile-long hood. Dodge offered a range of V8 engines, including a 440 cubic inch monster that could probably pull a small house. Because nothing says, "Welcome to the future," quite like the roar of a big American V8, right? But the real showstopper was the Polara's unique features. Those hidden windshield wipers, pure 60s space-age coolness. And that grille, oh boy, that grille. It was so bold and distinctive, it looked like it could swallow small cars whole. Talk about making an entrance. Number 5. Buick Riviera. From space-age coolness to nautical novelty, get ready for a car that'll make you wonder if you need a captain's license to drive it. The 1971 Buick Riviera wasn't just big. It was a 4,400-pound statement on wheels that left people scratching their heads. Was it a stroke of genius or a design disaster? Let's set sail and find out. Picture this. It's 1971, and Buick decides to throw caution to the wind with their third-generation Riviera. The result? A car so unique it looked more at home on the water than the road. The star of the show was that massive boat-tail rear end, stretching the Riviera to a whopping 223 inches long. It was like someone took a yacht, slapped some wheels on it, and called it a day. But the Riviera wasn't just about turning heads. It had some serious muscle under the hood, too. Buick packed in a beefy 455 cubic inch V8 engine, giving this land yacht enough power to make waves on the highway. And get this, they even threw in their fancy Max-Track traction control system. Because when you're piloting a boat on wheels, you need all the help you can get. Number 6. Ford LTD. Ever wondered what it would be like to drive your living room down the highway? The 1970 Ford LTD might just give you that experience. This wasn't just a big car, it was Ford's biggest, stretching an impressive 216.1 inches long. Talk about making a statement on the road. But the LTD wasn't just about size. Ford went all out with the style too. The front end was a real head-turner, with hidden headlights and a grille that took inspiration from the sleek Thunderbird. It was like automotive jewelry, catching eyes wherever it rolled. Now, let's talk power. The LTD came with a buffet of V8 engine options. You could go for the modest 302 cubic inch V8 if you were feeling conservative, or really flex with the massive 429 cubic inch beast. Either way, you were getting a smooth ride with plenty of oomph under the hood. Number 7. Dodge Charger SE. Remember the Dodge Charger, that iconic muscle car? Well, in 1975, it decided to trade in its racing stripes for a comfy sweater and some fuzzy slippers. The Charger SE, Special Edition, was like that friend who used to be a track star but now prefers lounging on the couch. At a whopping 216 inches long, this car was more cruise ship than speedboat. Now, you might think all that size meant it was a slowpoke, but the Charger SE still had some pep in its step. Under that massive hood, you could get a 360 or even a 400 cubic inch V8. Sure, they weren't exactly setting the world on fire with their horsepower. Thanks a lot, emissions regulations. But they could still get this big boy moving when you needed it. But the real magic happened when you stepped inside. It was like walking into a mobile living room complete with plush seats, wood grain trim, and, get this, 24-ounce shag pile carpeting. Can you imagine cruising down the highway with your toes sinking into that plushy goodness? It was the perfect ride for those long, leisurely road trips. Number 8. Dodge Custom 880. Ever wonder how car companies handle emergency situations? Well, back in 1962, Dodge found themselves in a real pickle. They suddenly realized they were missing a crucial piece of their lineup, a full-size car to compete with the big boys from Chevrolet and Ford. Talk about a whoops moment. Enter the Dodge Custom 880, the automotive equivalent of a last-minute school project. This forgotten giant was Dodge's quick fix to a big problem. At 214.8 inches long, it was their answer to the bigger is better trend that was all the rage in the early 60s. But how did they whip up such a large car so quickly? Here's where things get interesting. Dodge pulled off a bit of automotive magic by taking the body of a Chrysler Newport and slapping a Dodge front end on it. Presto! Instant full-size car. It was like the automotive version of putting a tuxedo jacket on your pajamas. Quick, effective, and just a little bit sneaky. Number 9. Ford Thunderbird. Ever wondered what happens when a car decides it wants to be a yacht? Well, feast your eyes on the 1976 Ford Thunderbird, a land yacht so massive it probably needed its own zip code. This wasn't just any old T-Bird. At a whopping 225.7 inches long, it was the biggest Thunderbird ever to grace the streets. That's nearly 19 feet of pure, unadulterated American excess. Now, if you thought the size was impressive, wait until you hear about the weight. This behemoth tipped the scales at over 5,000 pounds. Good thing Ford packed some serious muscle under the hood. The Thunderbird offered a range of V8 engines, including a monstrous 460 cubic inch option. With all that power, you could probably tow a small house if you wanted to. But the 76 Thunderbird wasn't just about size and power. Oh no, it was all about luxury too. The interior was designed to make you feel like royalty, with plush seating and enough space to host a small party. And if you wanted to really stand out, Ford had you covered. For an extra $546, you could opt for the lipstick color scheme. Talk about making a statement.